Welcome back to Elite and Legendary. Now, it's been quite some time since I made a video on this channel. It's been quite some time. It's just, I don't know, I don't know. I can't even tell you the reason. Just life sometimes gets in the way, and I just been so busy, just doing a lot of things. But I'm going to, try my best to get back to just putting a lot of content on this channel because I do want it to grow. And my main point is I want to have a channel for the old timers like myself. Not that I'm an old man, because I'm not. I'm only 58 years old, but I was able to experience 50 years of NBA basketball, and it was great. From the 70s all the way up into the to the mid 2000s. I experienced a lot of great NBA. Now, my favorite era, they were kind of like mixed together, like the 80s and the 90s. And not saying I didn't like the 2000s, because I did, but predominantly the 80s and the 90s were my two favorite eras. And I really truly believe that the 90s was the golden era of the NBA. And I know I'm not the only one that feels like that. There's many others that feel like that too, especially those that came up during the time I came up. So this channel is for you. Now, for the young people today, this generation that wants to get educated on the history of basketball and not disregarding the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, this channel is for you, because I'm going to give you inform you of the history of the NBA, because it's not just enough to be just have a favorite player. You should understand the history of the NBA, and too many young people today disregard the history. They disregard those that came before these players that set the foundation, the pioneers of the NBA and what they did, because without them, there would be no NBA today. A lot of young people today completely disrespects the NBA of yesteryear. Like, these guys couldn't play. They weren't fundamentally sound. They couldn't dribble. They couldn't shoot. They couldn't run. They weren't athletic, which is all straight lies. Nothing could be further from the truth. Those guys were very athletic. They had some really fast guys there. They were playing under some very rough and bad conditions back then, which people don't seem to realize. They played, doing some really under some very, very bad conditions. Some were serving in the military while they were playing the NBA. There were those that were, going through a civil rights movement. Those black players that were being harassed, couldn't go to restaurants, couldn't drink out of certain water fountains, couldn't stay in certain hotels. I mean, they lived during a really rough era. There was a time when you could literally smoke inside the stadium. There were times when the basketball, rims itself was hanging by chicken wires, which made the rims shake for a long time. And this is why a lot of shots, unless you were a really good shot, a shot and it went straight in without touching the rim, if it touched the rim, it was just going to come off, because it was always shaking because of what it was hanging. There wasn't no collapsible backboards back during those times. The shoes they had to wear with no arch support whatsoever. Not this fancy stuff they wear today. Having to fly commercial jets, and some had to, get in buses, played a lot of back-to-back games and things like that. These young people today just don't know. But I ain't come to get into all of that. That's just me just trying to break the ice, just opening up things. But today I want to talk about the greatest rookie season in NBA history. I know some say that is Michael Jordan, and Jordan had an incredible rookie season. He really did, especially, I say, for a guard. He had the greatest rookie season maybe in NBA history, but just the greatest overall, greatest rookie season in NBA history. I'm sorry, but that's Wilton Norman Chamberlain. Point blank. No one has ever did what this man did, and no one will do this again, ever. It will never happen. It only happened one time, And that was 70. I'm not saying 75 years ago, but it was over 50 years ago. Probably over 60 years ago when this man did this stuff. Incredible. Now you're looking at the screen at some numbers that Wilt had put up back in what was that, 1968? Just look, this is ridiculous. You ain't never going to see a stat line like this in your lifetime. You will not see this. 53 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists, 24 blocks, and 11 steals by one person. This is ridiculous. And of course, people will disrespect this man and say, oh, he played with a bunch of short white guys, which is nonsense, which is complete nonsense, complete lies. He played against a lot of great centers. Some were, not all of them were his height, but that don't have nothing to do with it. It's not just about height. He played against a lot of 6'10", 6'11" centers, some centers that were over 7 feet. But those guys were really good. They were like, he played against a bunch of Hall of Fame centers, and he still dominated them because he was just on another level. But let's look at what he did in his rookie season. Okay? Now, just real quick, they called him the Big Dipper. These are just some of his nicknames. The Big Dipper, the record book, which is, I mean, that makes sense because he still owns over 72 NBA records to this day. Dippy, Dip, the Load, Hook and Ladder, which I never heard of before until today. Wilt the Stilt, which is actually a nickname he hated. He did not like being called Wilt the Stilt. He hated it. And Goliath. Goliath is probably my favorite. Goliath and probably the Big Dipper. Those are probably my two favorite nicknames for Wilt. But check this out. As a rookie now, 23 years old, he averaged 37.6 points per game in his rookie season, y'all. I'm going to say that again. 37.6 points per game, almost 38 points a game in his rookie season. When he came into the league was very, very, very physical. This man was getting pummeled and beat down every night. And people think Shaq received a bunch of abuse. It was much worse for Wilt. Much, much worse because they wasn't even calling the fouls. They said if they called a foul every time he got the ball, the game would never end. So those players back then was able to brutalize this man on a regular basis. Check this out. He led the league in rebounds, okay, as a rookie at 27 rebounds per game. I'll say again, he led the league in rebounds at 27 rebounds per game. That is insane, okay? Check this out also. He played 46.4 minutes per game as a rookie. So he played almost every minute of every game that season, okay? He never hardly ever came out of a game. Check this. Now, this is incredible as well. He won the most valuable player award as a rookie. Insane. Just crazy. Okay. No one has done that since him. Won the most valuable player award as a rookie. It hasn't been done since Wilt. And on top of that, he won the Rookie of the Year, which we know, that's pretty much automatic at that point. He also made the All-NBA first team, meaning he was the best at his position. And to top that off, he won the MVP of the All-Star game. That's an incredible rookie season. That is the greatest rookie season ever. By far, ain't nobody touching it. The only person that I say come in second as far as having a really incredible rookie season, I would say, is Michael Jordan. But think about what this man accomplished as a rookie. NBA Most Valuable Player Award. Most Valuable Player of the whole league. NBA Rookie of the Year. Led the league in scoring, so he won the scoring title. He also won the rebounding title. Okay? All NBA first team, the best at his position as a rookie. And the All-Star Game MVP. Keeping in mind, in his first NBA game, also his debut game, the man scored 43 points and had 28 rebounds. Now you know what's really unfortunate? They didn't even count steals and blocks in his day. Now this is somebody on this picture you're seeing. This is somebody who actually recorded what he did on this particular day. And keep in mind, he was in his like getting into his mid 30s back then. I mean, seriously, he may have been 33 or 34 when he did this because he was with the Lakers. This is not Wilt in his prime, and he did this. Just put up this crazy stats right here. True, absolutely ridiculous. Didn't even count steals and blocks in his day, which is unfortunate. It's just unfortunate because I'm sure this man did even more incredible things that we just don't know about because they didn't keep those stats. It's just unfortunate. Now, what I did find out actually in Wilt's last season in the NBA, that's when they started counting blocks. I think that was 1973. And in his last season in the NBA as a 36-year-old man, he averaged 5.4 blocks per game at 36 years of age. Also, keep in mind at 36 years of age, he played all 82 games and he played 43.2 minutes per game and also had 4.5 assists per game. Did y'all hear what I said? This is at 36 years of age. 5.4 blocks per game, played all 82 games, played 43.2 minutes per game, and had 4.5 assists per game as a 36-year-old man. And you got these players today, they ain't thinking about playing no 82 games, and they surely ain't playing no 43 minutes. It's not happening. And they're not going to be this effective. And keep in mind, he was averaging, I think, over 20 rebounds that last season too. At 36 years of age, he was either averaging over 20 rebounds or like 18-something rebounds per game. One of them. But it's just the things that Wilt Chamberlain did as a player just boggles my mind, honestly. I mean, it's just he's considered the greatest athlete that ever played any sport. That's how phenomenal he was. He was just 20 years ahead of his time. And this is why they had to change the rules because he was dominating the game too much. They had to try to slow him down. And even with the rule changes, they still couldn't stop that man from dominating. So I just wanted to do this quick video about the true greatest rookie season in NBA history. It's not Michael Jordan. It's Wilton Norman Chamberlain. This man was in a league of his own. And I swear, if he played in this era, man, please, the dude would average probably 50 or 60 points a game. Maybe more than that. It's just, this guy was incredible. I mean, to average over 20 rebounds for your career, that's crazy. Nobody's ever going to do that. It's not going to happen. Not even Wembanyama. It's not going to happen. He ain't averaging over no 20 rebounds a game. It's not going to happen. All right, so y'all, that's I just wanted to talk about that because Wilt Chamberlain was just unbelievable, man. I just wish I could have had a chance to actually been alive during the time when he played. And I just wish there was way more film on him playing. I have seen a lot of it, but, just, clips here and there, but, not as nearly enough as I would have wanted to see, especially that 100-point game. But this guy was incredible. And when I was growing up, he was like considered a myth. It's like the things that he did that people were telling me about. I'm like, there's no way he did that stuff. But he clearly did. And there's a lot of people that witnessed his greatness. So once again, this is the greatest rookie season in history, which was absolutely done by Wilton Norman Chamberlain. Just an incredible basketball player. All right, this is Elite and Legendary signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.